2 Nights Among the Shadows. A few years back, I rented an apartment from a close friend of mine. He had recently bought the place and completely gutted it for renovation. He originally intended to sell it, but the market was stagnant. "Better to have someone living there to watch the place," he told me. "And you get a nice spot for a great price." I agreed. But just a few days after moving in, I realized there was something profoundly wrong with the woman next door. She was supposed to be in her mid-40s, but her sunken face and hollow, lifeless eyes made her look like she was pushing 70. She didn't sleep at night. Through the thin walls, I'd hear the static of a low-tuned radio, accompanied by her screaming responses to it, as if someone were standing right there with her. It was an endless stream of Christian sermons, rants about sin, and mutterings about eternal damnation. One night, my patience snapped. I went over and knocked. When she cracked the door open, the first thing that hit me was a thick, sharp stench of ammonia mixed with damp rot. The sight behind her was a living nightmare. Dozens of crosses were painted onto the walls in clashing colors. Scribbled between them were words like Jesus, salvation, and angels, looking as if they had been scratched out in a frantic trance. The windows were completely blacked out with heavy oil paint. Not a single sliver of light could get in. The floor was covered in 50-year-old carpet stained yellow, with cockroaches darting between piles of filth. There was no dog in sight, yet the place was littered with animal waste. I managed to stammer out, "Could you please keep it down?" She didn't react. She just locked her eyes onto mine, slowly eased the door shut, and cranked the radio to its maximum volume. The next night, my girlfriend was staying over. In the dead of night, in that heavy, uneasy silence, I snapped awake. I noticed a shape at the foot of the bed, a silhouette darker than the surrounding shadows. At first, I thought my mind was playing tricks on me, or that I was experiencing sleep paralysis. But then, the shadow moved. In that signature, raspy, gravelly voice, she whispered, "You should lock your doors at night." My blood ran cold. I saw a metallic glint in her hand, but I couldn't make out what it was. She walked out of the room with eerily calm steps, and I heard my front door click shut. How had she gotten in? Had she picked the lock, or had I simply forgotten to bolt it? I didn't sleep another wink that night. I sat behind the door until dawn, clutching a kitchen knife. The next morning, I heard strange noises coming from under my bedroom window. She was in the yard, pacing and muttering rhythmic incantations in a language I didn't recognize. In her hand was a clear plastic bag. Inside was her dead dog, which had clearly been rotting in the heat for days. The smell was unbearable, a heavy, throat-searing scent of decay that was far worse than any roadkill. I ran upstairs to talk to another neighbor. The man nearly pulled me inside when he saw how badly I was shaking. "Is it her?" he asked. It turned out I wasn't the only one. Last month, while he was watching TV with his kids, he felt a presence behind him. He turned around to find her standing behind the couch, holding a live power drill, just staring at them. In that moment, my heart nearly stopped. I finally realized what that metallic glint in her hand had been while she stood over my bed. I called the police. They already had a thick file on her. She was a diagnosed violent schizophrenic who had been refusing her medication. The officer sighed over the phone. "She owns the unit, so she has domicile rights. We can't just kick the door down and take her. We have to catch her in a public space, either committing a crime or being a danger to herself." I spent the next 48 hours like a hunter, glued to the window. Finally, around 2 a.m., I saw her throw on a cardigan and head toward the 7-Eleven across the street, presumably because she'd run out of cigarettes. I called the cops immediately. In less than 2 minutes, 3 cruisers and an ambulance appeared from both ends of the street, their sirens silent. They intercepted her on the sidewalk. She didn't scream or fight. She just turned her head and stared directly at my window with those same empty eyes as they loaded her into the van. Within 60 seconds, she was gone. It was as if she had never existed. I called my friend the next day and dropped off the keys. I couldn't spend another second in that building. Years have passed, but I still wake up in the middle of the night, checking the darkness at the foot of my bed to make sure no one is standing there, waiting with a drill.